So look, y'all, I'm on the way to go run right now, right? Do my morning run exercise. You feel me? And I just had like a download, right? So I just kind of wanted to share my download with y'all real fast. You feel me? Do you know why we call it the Mo-Ment? Like, you know how when you're on your spiritual journey, right? Or when you start to awaken again, I have to kind of talk close to the phone. But when you're on your journey, right, if you notice, you're constantly being guided to the moment. You're being guided to get in the moment. They'll tell you to get in the moment in different ways, right? They'll tell you to meditate, or they'll tell you to become conscious of your breathing. All of that requires for you to be in the moment. You see what I'm saying? Because if you notice, each breath that you take is literally a new moment. Every is a new moment. That moment just passed. That moment just passed. It's a momentum, right? It's a flow. It's a continuing moment. It's a recycling moment. The moment keeps occurring. It keeps occurring. It's a reoccurring moment, right? So, dang. Hold on. Okay, now what keeps the moment reoccurring is the thing that makes the moment itself, right? And the thing that makes the moment itself, now this is where it gets deep. This is where the download coming at, right? Because what literally makes the moment, if you look at the word moment, this is how I figured this out. If you look at the word moment, right, you see mo and then ment. These words is just not by mistake. If you understand that everything is intentional and that everything was premeditated, and you'll understand that everything is for a reason. Even with words, it's not just words. You feel what I'm saying? It has knowledge behind it of how it became the word in the first place, right? So words itself is an expression of the creator. In the beginning there was the word. See what I mean? That's everything is an embodiment of that word. So basically, like, when you get into the moment, right, what you essentially doing is you are tuning into the motion of mental. That's why it's called the moment. You feel me? The mo as in motion or movement, and then ment as in mental or mind, right? So essentially, when you get into the moment, you're tuning into the motion of mind. That's literally what you're doing. It's the motion of mind, the motion of mental, the moment that creates the momentum. See what I'm saying? The momentum is just a flow. It's a reoccurring theme, right? So you create the flow. This is also why we call it a universe, right? Uni, it comes from the Latin word unus, which means one. Like united or unity or unit or unison, union, right? All of that means one together. It's when multiple things come together and form a unit, right? Or a union or a unity, right? But a union is a whole that consists of multiple parts, similar to the idea of a circle, how it contains multiple degrees. It's a union, right? A circle is a unity, right? So that's what the uni means in universe. Then the verse part lies in a verse to a song, right? Because it's literally, in the beginning there was the word. In the beginning there was your word. It was your sound. It was your sound frequency. It was your vibration. It was your you get what I mean? Like a song that you were singing in the beginning. And when they say the beginning, they're talking about the beginning of physical creation, not the beginning of life. Because life itself is not just physical. Life consists of multiple different aspects to it, right? So we can't say the beginning of life, because life existed before the physical. So, but you have to be specific. We're talking about the beginning of physical creation, right? So there's another verse in the Bible. God said, "Let there be light." See, I'm going to just automatically tell you that you're God, because I've already realized this. See, I'm speaking from a place of realization. I already know that we are gods, right? So we can just go ahead and substitute that word God for you. You said, "Let there be light," right? the light that you were calling into being was the light of your being. You are the light being, right? And when you spoke light into existence, what you were doing is you were speaking the all of yourself into existence. You spoke the all of yourself into existence because you are the light being, right? So when you said let there be light, you were calling your own presence into being. You see what I'm saying? This is why nature, literally everything in nature, is the presence of God itself. It's the presence of you. And that's why you're being guided to get into the moment, or go into nature, tune into nature. Because when you do that, essentially what you're doing is you're tuning into yourself. Okay? You are remembering because you have been dismembered from yourself. You have been disconfigured. You have been, for me, disembodied. So now you have to practice embodiment all over again. That's what we're doing. All we're doing on our spiritual journeys, bro, is we're coming back into a state of wholeness because we've been divided up and split from ourselves. So we're just gradually forming back into a whole. That's all the, you know what I'm saying, the journey is about, for real. You've been dismembered. Like how you can dismember a part of your body, take one part of the body away. That's called dismember. So on this journey, what we doing is remembering. Okay, it's different parts of you joining back into the whole. See what I'm saying? It's happening again because it was already once whole, and then you split from yourself, and now you have to get whole again. So it's happening again, right? When was you first whole? Before physical creation. That's when everything was within, right? And then in order to bring everything that was within without, you literally expressed yourself. This is why life is a expression. It's an art form. That's what art is, right? It's an expression of the mind, expression of the heart. Well, if you called yourself into being and all the, then you literally, what you did was you expressed yourself. It's the same thing as when you make music. You're expressing yourself, or you're calling your own, you're transforming the flow of your mental into word form, into sound frequency. You're transforming light into sound. That's what you do every time you speak. For me, because your thoughts is light forms. Every thought that you have is a light form. It's a light, you know what I'm saying? It's real light. It's not just a thought. So when you speak that thought, what you're doing is you're converting light into sound. That's essentially what you're doing. It's the same thing you do when you make music, right? But if you think about it deeper, for real, you're really expressing yourself. What is expression? Look at the word express, right? X as in exiting or external, right? If something is exiting, is leaving. And then press, right? So something from the internal is being pressed externally, right? That's what an expression is when something from the inside of you is being pressed externally. It's being pressed on the outside of you. It's exiting you, but you're causing the exiting, so it's being pressed. See what I'm saying? That's why it's being pressed, because to say that it's being pressed implies consciousness. You have to consciously press something, right? So literally the motion of your mind is what creates the moment. See what I'm saying? Literally. And this is why you are constantly being guided to the moment through many different ways. You're being guided to the moment when they tell you to meditate. You're being guided to the moment when they tell you to do conscious breathing. You're being guided to the moment when they tell you to go in nature. You see, because all of that is going to remind you of self. That's essentially what's going on. It's going to just remind you of self. Right? Because remember, again, in the beginning there was just God and the Word. There was nothing else. It was just you and your Word. Right? And your Word is within you. So we're just going to say in the beginning it was just you. There was nothing else here but you. So that means in order for you to make everything, there would have been nothing else here for you to make everything out of, because there's nothing here. So you had to literally form the everything out of yourself. You see what I'm saying? So when God said, let there be light, God was calling himself, speaking God's own presence into being. Remember, it was all within. Then you expressed. It exited in you. Now it's becoming a part of the external. See what I'm saying? That's what creates the external. You, literally, you're that same entity that in the beginning, you're just in human form now. You're living the vision that you had in the beginning. The light can also symbolize the vision that you had, right? When God said, "Let there be light," that can also be the vision. But I mean, it is the vision that God had was to expand God's own self. You wanted to expand your own self and make multiple yous. So that's exactly what you did. You expanded yourself and you made multiple yous, right? Being that everything that you see around you is literally an expression of yourself. When you tune into it, you're being reminded of yourself. See what I'm saying? If you created nature and then go in nature, you're gonna be reminded of what you created. See what I'm saying? That's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? They leading you back to yourself. These spiritual teachers and people that come on here and tell you to meditate and get into the moment, they're just trying to lead you to yourself. And you don't even realize that shit. You think it's just you know what I'm saying? You tuning in with the universe as if the universe is something outside of you. No, the universe is within you. You are the universe. You're an embodiment of it. Literally, the motion of your mind, right? The flow of ideas that you have literally is what dictates the moment. That's why it's called a moment in the first place. See what I'm saying? The motion of mind. Mo-Ment. Motion of mental. Right? The motion of your mental creates a flow, a momentum. See what I'm saying? Everything consists of a flow in nature. Water, river flow, even within you, the water within you, blood flow. You know what I'm saying? Money is another form of this. So this is why we have cash flow. See what I'm saying? It's all a replica. That even the air we breathe is a flow. You know what I mean? Everything is a flow because it's all of a replica of you, and you are light and sound. Light has a flow and sound has a flow. That's why it can be called light waves and sound waves. See what I'm saying? Because it's a flow. A wave is like something that rising and falling. A constant motion of rising and falling. That's what a wave is. Waves rise and fall. It's a flow. So light waves, ideas arise and disappear. They arise, disappear like a wave. It's a flow. Same thing with the inner sound. Your inner sound arises or sound in general. See what I'm saying? In the beginning, there was you in the word, which is light and sound. So we dealing with, hold on, I done got distracted just that quick. But in the beginning, that's what it was. It was you and your word via light and sound. Okay? And this is where we even get the idea of music from. This is where we even get the idea to make music from. Because essentially, music is light and sound. Right? The music producer is the light being. He's the light being because he's the knowledge, he's the brain behind the operations. He's the one that, he or she is the one that organizes the sound. Okay? Or to organize or to order something or to arrange anything or to put anything in order or give something form, that's all due to light because light gives things form. Light is the ultimate former or informer in which gives form to all things. Okay? So once you give something form, we know that light is involved. Okay? So being that music pretty much is organized sound, we know that it involves light and sound because it can be organized. You see what I'm saying? So that's essentially what music is light and sound. The music producer is the light being because we're all light beings, right? And when you sit down to make a beat or put a beat in order, what you're doing is you're using your light to create a flow. You're using the light you're using light and sound. You're interacting with light and sound. And even before you make the external sound, there's already an internal sound playing within. If you notice it, like before a music producer sits down to make an actual beat, there's already a beat or a rhythm within the music producer before he makes the beat. right? He already has an internal rhythm, an internal flow. Everything starts within. So basically, I just finished my run, right? But basically, I want to finish out the video by saying this pretty much. I'm going to leave it on this note. When you tune into the moment, you know how we just broke down what the moment was, right? How it's literally the motion of your mind, right? So when you get in, this is why the key is to be present. This is why presence is so important. Because when you're present, you're pretty much in tune with your own mind. That's all it is. You're just in tune with your own mind. So it puts you in a state of coherence or balance, basically. So, yeah, man. And that's the key, bro. Balance. You know what I'm saying? Balance. You're pretty much aligning yourself. That's all it is, alignment. Even the word, alignment has the word mint in it. Any word you see with mint, just know it has something to do with the mental, the mind, because the word mint itself is a Latin word. It comes from mente, which literally means mind or mental. This is where we get the word mental from. See what I'm saying? It comes from Latin word mente, which means mind, right? Mint, al is Arabic for the or the, right? So mental literally means the mind, right? Mental literally means the mind. Okay, so, and now you may question the mind of who? Like, whose mind? There's no specification. It's just the mind. That can apply to anything, right? Well, that's because you can apply to anything because you are the all of everything. You can't be specified or grouped, so it's just the mind. See what I'm saying? Mental. It's just the mind. So you'll see a lot of words in English that have the al in it, like chemic al. The word chemic al literally means the black art. Now see, even it's specific, but it's not specific. The black art of what? Or the art of black. The art of black what though? See what I'm saying? There is no specific what, because it's everything. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. Moral of the story: tune into the moment. Tune into the moment, and realize that when you tune into the moment, you're simultaneously tuning into the motion of your own mind. It's the external moment is just the motion of your mind playing out externally. When you match your internal with the external, it puts you in a state of balance. And then from the moment, you can dictate, you can literally create you can create the momentum. Once you realize the moment for what it is, that you're the creator of it, you can create the momentum. This is why when basketball players, right, or a football player or a music artist or anybody, they always achieve to reach a flow state. Okay, because when you're in this flow state, you're in a state you're present. When you're present, you can literally see everything that's going on in the moment. So when the defense tries to come this way, being that you're so in the moment, you can see it. Okay, defense coming this way. I'm gonna go this way now. Boom. Okay, defense coming this way. I'm gonna go this way now. You can't notice none of that if you're not in the moment, right? Same thing with this. When you tap into the moment, you're gonna notice the all of everything, which is you. You're the center of the all of everything, right? So it's going to put you in a state of coherence where you're going to be able to see the moment for what it is, and then you're going to be able to dictate the next moment, creating a momentum, a flow, a rhythm, a beat. This is why it's called a universe, because it's a united verse. When verses unite, they create what? A song, a rhythm, a flow. You see? You're the producer that creates the flow. That's why everything consists of a flow, because it's all mimicking you as the producer. It's all mimicking your internal flow. You see what I mean? Okay. And when you And when you tune into the moment, right? The moment is the motion of your own mind, right? So when you tune the internal motion of your mind to the external motion of your mind, right? Basically, essentially, what's happening is mind is becoming full of mind. Mind is becoming full of mind. Mind is becoming full of itself, which creates fulfillment, because fulfillment literally means to be full of self. Right? It has the word ment on the end, fulfillment. Ment comes from the Latin word mente, which means mind or mental, and then fulfill. You know what I'm saying? When you fill something up, it becomes full. Fulfillment, it's like a play on his own words. Fulfill is intending to say the same thing. Right? Fulfillment is when you're full of self. You're full of whatever you filled yourself with. And what are you full of? You are full of everything. You're full of the all of everything, right? So when you achieve fulfillment, right, it's to be full of mind. But the mind is all, right? So essentially is being full of yourself, being full of the all of everything which exists within self. So to have fulfillment is to be full of self. Okay? That's what practical things that you can do to actually, like, you know, to practically experience the achievement versus just, because I basically just told you what it is. You know what I'm saying? I was just revealing to you that it's pretty much fulfillment is another state of mind, state of being, just like everything else. So you have states within you because you're a whole world within yourself. So this is why you have states. Like how there's a states within the earth, states within a country. You're a country is pretty much a body of land. You are a body of land. This is why you have a state inside of you, state of being, state of mind, different states. You see what I'm saying? You're a dwelling space for a consciousness to reside in. So this is why you have a mentality, right? I told y'all the itty, right? The itty, as in city, is a dwelling space, right? For something or someone to reside in. Well, similarly, your body is a dwelling space. Your mind is a dwelling space for consciousness to reside in. You're a lighthouse. You see what I'm saying? You house light and sound. You house frequencies. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what you emit. And so when you're full of self, you're full of all that. You're full of the all of everything, because the all of everything once existed within self and then became externalized through expression, right? And so now when you essentially, what you're doing is when you're achieving fulfillment is you're becoming complete again. You're becoming whole and complete again. You're filling yourself back up with all that you are. You're becoming full of yourself, right? It's the same thing. So some practical things you can do, right, to achieve fulfillment is mindful activities. Notice the full in the word fulfillment and mindful. Is that for a reason? Just like when you get full of something, right? Mindful is to be full of mind, right? If all is mind and you're being full of mind, that means you're being full of all. And if all exists within, then you're being full of the all of everything that's within. So you're being full of self. That's even being mindful is being full of self, because all is mind. But that's what it means to be mindful, to be full of mind. So practice mindful activities such as anything that gets you in the moment, like anything that keeps you in the present moment, like running, exercising, you know what I'm saying? Anything, bro, reading, journaling, anything that keeps you in the moment and that allows you to thrive with the momentum. That can be freestyling on a beat, however, you know what I'm saying? Anything that keeps you in the moment, that's healthy. You know what I'm saying? Because you can a lot of things can keep you in the moment, and it's not all necessarily a healthy things. Like you can be smoking weed, that's keeping you in the moment because you have to be present enough to roll the blunt and all of that, but it's not necessarily healthy for you. You get what I'm saying? So you want to pick healthy things to get into the moment with. Healthy things that link you to the moment, such as exercising or meditation or conscious breathing. You see what I mean? Stuff like that. Practice those, and then that's literally how you achieve fulfillment. Because when you become aware of your breath, the breath is another aspect of you. So when you become aware of the breath, you're becoming aware of another aspect of self. You're becoming full of you, so you're becoming aware of yourself, basically, in a sense. When you practice meditation and you focus on your thoughts without judgment, you feel me? Your thoughts is another aspect of you, because your thoughts are light forms. So essentially, when you are practicing meditation, you're becoming aware of your own self. You're becoming full of self, aware of self. It's all, you know what I'm saying? These are all gateways to achieving fulfillment, bro. Literally. Like I said, fulfillment is just to be full of mind, to be full of yourself. Right? So when you practice mindful activities, you're literally creating fulfillment. You're creating space for fulfillment to occur within your domain. You see what I mean? That's another word that we use. That when you pay attention to it, it teaches you, you know what I mean, a deeper story. Domain, right? A domain is a dwelling space. Like I told you, your mind and your body are also dwelling spaces for consciousness to reside, or for light to reside, for frequencies, light, energy, vibration, and frequency to reside in, right? It's a dwelling space. That's why we call this a dome, right? Because it's a domain. It's a living space for God to be in. God lives within you, literally. Your body literally is the temple. You know what I'm saying? That's not to sound cute or none of that. That's literal. You get what I mean? That's why we call this a dome. That's why we call the size of our heads temples. Because the word temple, when you break it up, right? It's temp and then LE. The LE can also be interchangeable with EL. Right? So it's the same thing as saying the. Right? Temp L. Right? Temp it comes from the Greek word tempo, which means time. Okay, what is time? Time is presence. Right? So, like, okay, that's why religions, they go to temples to supposedly they're going to the temple to experience the presence of God. They're going to spend what? Time with God. So you see how time and presence kind of align with each other? And that's what I was trying to show you with that, right? So pretty much this is why we call it temple, because the presence of God, the temple, is you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're the temple of God. I mean, yeah, you're the temple that God lives within. You know what I'm saying? Your heart, that's the altar. You get what I mean? Like, this stuff is deeper than just metaphorical symbolism and all. Like, this shit is literal, bro. Shit is literal, gang. And that's what I'm trying to show y'all. That's why I'm using the words to show y'all this, because words are literal. Words are literally literal. Because the word literal comes from literad, which is a Latin word that means letters. That's what a word is. It's letters when they are put into a sequential order. Multiple letters that are formed into an order creates word. And word is pretty much sound frequency. So that's why we use the word literally. When we want to, that's why we use the word literally whenever we want to express how real something is, because all that's real is made out of literacy, made out of literature, made out of word. Remember, in the beginning there was the word. You see what I'm saying? It was your word. In the beginning, you feel me? It was your word, and then you use your word to speak yourself, aka light, into existence. Let there be light. You were saying, let there be self. You were expressing yourself into the external, because you're a light being. You see? What other light could you have been talking about if nothing was here yet? It had to be the internal light, because you were the only motherfucker that was there in the beginning. See what I'm saying? But yeah, bro. Tap into the moment and tap into yourself.